Good afternoon, Ayush Barai. So, class 6. So, today we are going to study about introduction because tomorrow we will start whatever we studied in class 5. Tomorrow we are going to start the chapter 1. Okay, so first question, that is, name the process in which liquid changes into gaseous state. Okay, name the process in which liquid changes into gaseous state. Liquid state of matter changes into gaseous state. Name the process in which liquid state of matter changes into gaseous state. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, Ayush Barai, Dakhare, Pandey, Durgesh Pandey, Avantika Dhande, Pimpadkar. Good afternoon to all of you. Please concentrate on first question. This is the question depending on the class 5 syllabus. Tomorrow we are going to start the lesson number 6. First lesson number first of class 6. So the first question, that is, name the process in which liquid changes into gaseous state. Yes, what is that process in which the liquid changes into gaseous state? What is that? I am waiting for your answer. No, the Khare has written solid. No, it is the process. It is known as evaporation. That process is called evaporation. When we heat the liquid changes into gaseous state. Why? Because in liquid, the molecules, they are little bit away from one another, not strongly hold together as in case of solid. Little bit movement is possible in case of liquid. When we heat the liquid, what will happen? These molecules, they get heat energy, and these molecules, they move away from each other. Okay, they move away from each other. So we will find the molecular arrangement here. It is for liquid, but here the molecular arrangement is for gaseous. Here the molecules are free to move away from each other. So we will find the liquid changes into gas, okay, on heating, because the heat energy, yes, you can write. Yes, you can write, Ayush Barai. You can write. Because what we will find, when we heat the liquid, the molecules, they gain the energy, they move away from each other. As they move away from each other, we will find they get converted into gas. So always remember, liquid on heating get converted into gas. Okay. Then one more question. When you heat solid, when you heat solid, it changes into liquid state. When you heat solid, it changes into liquid state. What do we call that process? When we heat the solid, it changes into liquid state. For example, if you take out the ice cubes from refrigerator, freezer of the refrigerator, and if you keep outside, that ice cube will convert into water. Okay, for example, ice cube, you keep it in the room temperature, ice cube will convert into liquid water. So solid changes into liquid on heating. What do we call this process? Yes, you have to write down. So what do we call this process when on heating. What do we call? Liquid changes into gaseous on heating, that is called evaporation. Okay. On heating, solid changes into liquid at its melting point. So what is that process called? What is that process called? What is that process? Solid changes into liquid. Yes, you have to write down. My sound is very low. Okay. So what is that process called? When we heat the solid, solid changes into liquid. What is that process called? Nobody is giving that process. It is called melting. Okay, the solid it melts to give liquid. So why in solid also how are the molecules arranged? In case of solid, very low sound. Okay, how are the molecules arranged in case of the solid? In case of the solid, we will find the molecule they are very near to one another. They are very near to one another. The force of attraction between them is very low. Okay, so when we heat this solid, what will happen when you provide it heat? What will happen? This the molecules they get heat energy and they move little bit away from each other. Okay, they move little bit away from each other. They get heat energy and they move little bit away from each other. So solid, that is, it changes into liquid. Here we will find the molecules, they are very, sound is very low. Here we will find the molecules, they are very near to one another. Okay, the forces of attraction between these molecules is very strong. The molecules, they do not leave their place. So we will have these solids, they have definite shape and definite volume. Because the molecules, they are very near to one another, they are very closely hold. Okay, but when we heat, they get the heat energy and they move away from each other. So solid changes into the liquid. So on heating, that is melting. Okay, so we will find matter it changes state from solid to liquid and liquid to gas on heating. We will find solid which changes into liquid on heating and liquid on heating it changes into gas. So what do we call this process? This process we call melting. Okay, and this we call evaporation. Now reverse of that, if you take gas and you cool the gas. What will happen to the gas? Gas will change into liquid. What do we call this process? When we cool the gas will change into liquid. What do we call that process? What do we call that process? When we cool the gas will change into liquid. For example, you are heating water, water will change into water vapor. And if you keep some plate over the water vapor, again water vapor changes into the droplets of water. What do we call this process? Gas on cooling changes into liquid. What do we call that process? Gas on cooling changes into liquid. We call it as a condensation. What do we call? Condensation. This we studied earlier also. For example, here in gas we will find the molecules, they are far away from each other. But when we cool, they will lose energy. These molecules will lose energy and these molecules will come near one another. They will come near one another. So here we will find this molecular arrangement, it is of gas. This molecular arrangement, it is of liquid. So on cooling we will find gas changes into liquid and that we call it as a condensation. Okay, for example, we will find water vapor. Water vapor, you cool water vapor, keep the plate over the water vapor, you cool, what will happen? Water vapor will convert into water. Okay, water vapor will convert into water. So this happens, water vapor will convert into water. Again, if you cool water, now if you cool water, what will happen? Suppose you take water, liquid water, and you cool it. What will happen? What will be formed? What will be formed? You cool water, so what it will be? What will be formed? For example, keep water in freezer. If water in freezer of refrigerator, freezer of refrigerator. So what will happen? When we cool water, water will convert into what? Very good. Pippadkar has given very correct answer. Karthik has given very correct answer. It will convert into ice. It will convert into ice. And this process, it is called when liquid changes into solid. Okay. It is called freezing. Okay, so we will find in water, we will find the molecules. How are the molecules in water? In molecules, in case of water, how are they? They are little bit away from each other. But when we will cool this, we will find, yes, who has written freezing? Yes, Prabhas Sharma has written very correct. That is freezing. When we cool this water, what will happen to these molecules? They will lose energy. Energy is given out. And these molecules, they will come near one another. They will come near one another. They lose the energy and this molecule, they will come near one another. So, here it is liquid, water is liquid. The arrangement of molecule is for liquid. But when we will cool it, what will happen? These molecules, they will come near one another and we will find this water will convert into solid. Example, ice. Water will convert into solid. Okay, so this we will call it as a freezing. Okay, so to sum up how we can write, see when we heat, how matter changes state from one place to another, one form to another. For example, here we will find when we heat solid, solid will on heating, solid will convert into liquid, liquid will convert into gas. Okay, but when we will cool it, gas will convert into, when we will cool the gas, gas will convert into liquid and liquid will convert into solid, cool. So heating, you heat, the molecule they will move away from each other, it will convert into liquid and liquid will convert into gas. You cool gas, gas will convert into liquid and liquid will convert into solid. Now listen here, today we are discussing what we studied last year. Tomorrow we are going to start the lesson number 1. Okay. So this is, we will find solid on heating converts into liquid and liquid on heating converts into gas. Gas on cooling converts into liquid and liquid on cooling converts into solid. So here we will find solid on heating converts into liquid. That is that process what we call, this is melting, this is evaporation. And when we will cool gas, gas will convert into liquid. What we will call this one, cooling reverse process. This one what we will call, gas convert into liquid, condensation. And liquid converts into solid. This process what we call freezing. Okay. So why all these things are happening? These things are happening because of position of the molecules. Here in solid, the molecule they are very close to one another. When we heat the solid, the molecule they gain energy, they move away from each other, they convert into liquid. When we heat the liquid, they get this molecule again, they gain energy, they move still away from each other, they convert into gas. Okay, and when we cool gas, the molecule they lose energy, they come in near one another, they convert into liquid. And when we will cool the liquid, the molecule they will lose energy, they come near one another, they convert into solid. Okay, so is it clear to all of you? Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start lesson number 1. All of you know that this year we are going to use the NCERT textbook. That is, we are going to use NCERT textbook. NCERT means National Council of Education, Research and Training. Now these books, they are very good books. Okay. So tomorrow read lesson number 1. We will start lesson number 1. So okay, thank you all of you. I will stop here.